lost in monochrome views, while life slowly drips out of you, questioning fundamentals through and through, and you still continue. Your mouth makes sounds inside your far beyond words. Their form has lost their meaning. With closed eyes, you are weaving.
Welcome, my friends, to a fresh new interview with from Cuentame USA with Moncho Camano. We're going to have a conversation with Joanna Gemma Auguri. She's a musician, songwriter, an actress. She lives in Berlin and plays melancholic, I guess we could say, atmospheric music, dark folk, and more. We're going to talk about that, about her new album. And she's a remarkable songwriter. I've been reading a lot of her songs and the writing, and it's very interesting, you could say. So we're going to say hello to Johanna. She's in Berlin, I believe. How are you doing, Joanna?
Hi, Jose. Thank you so much for inviting me. Yes, I'm in Berlin. It's very hot outside, so all the windows are closed, but inside it's okay.
Same thing here, especially right now because my air conditioning just started working, and then my compressor unit is making noises right now. Well,
I hear
so
nothing. There's no noise or
oh,
anything.
nice.
All good.
Okay. So thank you very much for being here. We could say that you are a Polish born but German raised music performer from Berlin, right?
Yes, exactly. I was born in Poland, but I grew up in Germany. But well, my grandmother was Ukrainian, and
Okay.
the husband of my other grandmother was half French. So it's all mixed up.
Hmm.
I
And
would call myself a Middle European. So
but you were born in Poland, but very early, very early age, I guess, around 4, 5, or 6. You moved to Germany, right? Uh,
yes,
fleeing.
for 5 years when I was 5 years.
Yeah. So do you have a lot of? You don't probably have too many remembrances from that time in Poland, right? Do you still remember things?
Yes, surprisingly, I have a very good memory of the time being a child there in Poland. I was living with my grandparents as well. My
Hmm.
parents broke up, and we were living with my grandparents. And it is a very vivid memory of being in the forest as a child. I was a quite a free child. I was allowed to stay outside with friends, and I was
Hmm.
very early in the kindergarten as well. I think they started to put me there since I was 3 years old.
Okay.
And then when we moved to Germany, I always spent all the holidays, school
Okay.
holidays, with my grandparents in Poland. So I had some kind of double life as a child already. I was
Okay.
one personality when I was in Poland and the other one when I was in Germany.
Hmm.
I did not like the one in Germany so much in the very beginning.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah, because it's an interesting thing, this kind of identity. It's like I find very much that identity is a thing that comes by chance in a way. You are born in some kind of country,
Right. You don't
culture.
choose. You don't
Yeah,
choose.
but then the society puts you in this
Right.
kind of system where you are the good immigrant or the not so good immigrant. Yeah, no, it's like
I
it was
totally agree with you because the same thing happened to me. But when I came to the United States, it was a shock for me, culture-wise,
yes.
especially. So yes. So your relationship with music, I guess it began quite early in your life, Joanna.
Yes, I started to sing songs to myself when I was living in Germany as a child. I was wandering on my own a lot in the forest and outside. I love to be outside always. And then I started to sing songs to myself. It was like, it's like singing.
Hmm.
And this way of communicating with maybe the good ghosts or something like this was always a part of me.
Hmm.
And then when I was on a Catholic school,
Hmm.
and I was in a church choir. And this was the best bit of the Catholic school. I mean, I'm not in church today anymore, but I still remember this mystical experience of singing together in a special place, and this
Hmm.
stayed with me my whole life. So I guess it's still something that I like to do.
But was this like a Catholic upbringing for you, or just it wasn't like I mean, does it has it play any factor in the way your music is being developing? Does religion at all has anything to do with that, with the spiritually? I don't know, the rituals and
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't really think it was the religion. I think I always had some kind of spiritual connection to nature and
Okay.
to something bigger that connects us all.
Hmm.
Yes, we were a Catholic household, but it was not, there were no extremes or anything. It was
Okay.
just done this way because all the Polish people were Catholics.
Of course.
And I remember that the Catholic Church had a different status in Poland as well. It was always a place of community, much more than it is
Hmm.
today or than it is in other countries.
Hmm. So what kind of music were you listening, or were you, I don't mean forced to listen, but at your house? So was there a lot of music playing, or just a lot of maybe radio, but not music at all, just talking conversations? Or
Astonishingly, I was listening to lots of classical music when I was a child,
okay.
but it was not coming from my parents so much. They were not listening to music so much. My mother loved all this
Hmm.
Polish singers. Now, of course, I have no name,
Right.
but like very classical. Oh no,
But like
but there,
you are a good accordion player. So was there an accordion at in your house at all? Was there any
no,
music instrument?
there was no music instrument. Singing was my
Hmm.
first instrument or my first approach to music.
Hmm.
Um, and I taught myself playing accordion with 30 years, so very late.
Oh, that's
Yeah, so
amazing.
it's like it all came very late to me. I was always singing, but then I discovered that I need to have something that is accompanying me in some way.
Hmm.
And I had a guitar since, no, this is wrong. I had a guitar since I was a child, but I did not, it
You
was not sitting right with me. I needed something that is a little more special or sounds in a different way. And the accordion was always this kind of, how do you say it? Maybe some kind of time machine that brings you in some other, yeah, I mean, the sound is very peculiar in a way. It can, it can also be annoying when someone is not able to play the accordion.
I
but
understand.
yeah, but from my
Well,
perspective, it was rather a church organ that I was always hearing. And since I cannot carry a church organ, or you're not always getting the opportunity to play one,
oh, okay. It's
I chose the
more
accordion.
portable for you to carry, but yeah, yeah. Is it harder than to play a piano, the accordion? Oh,
No, it's just a different system, but it's a similar thing because on the right hand I have the piano, so I
hmm.
have to understand the piano, and on the left hand you have the bass notes, so you give
Right.
rhythm. But I use the bass also as a drone, so for me it's more the atmospheric. I'm not a top A accordion player, because I use it in a very different way than the classical accordion player do.
Right, right. The sounds are very sometimes haunting when you play the accordion. Like you said, it sounds sometimes like a church, maybe an organ or some,
Yes.
not a harpsichord, but like an organ. It feels you like it feels your your heart sometimes when you I listen to your accordion play. So
There's a lots of longing in the sound
yeah,
somehow.
the
It's
sound.
like really like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's very sad sometimes, but beauty comes out of sadness. I think also, there is beauty in sadness. Uh, so I really enjoy it. To tell you, the first, I think I started listening to your music maybe a couple of months ago, and the first song I listened, and well, it was I think YouTube. I saw the video clip. I think. Uh, for one of your songs, a couple of songs from your album, from High Ref. Did you say High Ref? High
You
Ref?
say Hiraeth, it's a Walisian word, and you speak it very Hiraeth.
Hiraeth.
Of course, I mean from an English perspective, might be Hiraeth, but I say Hiraeth, and I think the people in Wales do as well.
Yeah. So this album that was published not long ago, last in June, the end of the month of June, I
Yeah, it's
believe that.
only 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah, it's brand new. Uh,
Mhm.
so I listened to the whole album. But I in YouTube there are a couple songs that I saw first. That's I think YouTube, and I saw Little Bird, the video clip. That's the
Yeah.
first thing, and really, it's an amazing video. I suggest my viewers to take a look at it. Well, they are amazing, all her videos. I mean, there's not like 1,000 videos to see,
No,
so it won't take you long to watch her videos. But they are very interesting, and like I told Joanna, the lyrics are is what drives me into her music first. The lyrics. So that little bird is amazing. I don't want to read what is talking what the song is about. I'm gonna ask Joanna,
Mhm.
but they are very interesting verses. I don't know if I read them, but it's talking about secrets, secrets that you keep in your feathers, in your heart, in the dreams you softly keep. So there are things that make you think. So I'm gonna ask Joanna regarding this song because it's the first one I listened to, and then I listened to other songs, but that's the one. So tell me about the song. Is the album is very interesting. And which song is this? The song is not the first one in the album, but which song is this? When did you write this song? Was it already written years ago, or this is when you started this project? You had no songs, and this is just one of them that you created?
I'm very glad that you like the song so much because it's for me, it's the heart piece of
Right.
the album. It's also sitting there. It's the fifth song on the album.
Hmm.
And it means very much to me because I think that it has how do you say it, the biggest range of emotion somehow. It's very fragile and it has a lot of strength and darkness and depth in it as well.
Right.
Um, I wrote the song especially for that album. So when I started working on that album, I had a topic. So for me, Hiraeth, this place of longing that we may never reach or that we have lost, this is what the word is meaning.
Hmm.
Um, my plan was to, yeah, and to some kind of investigate in all forms of longing and dreaming of things that we can never reach, and
Hmm.
all the forms of desires and maybe the pain that lies within. And Little Bird is on the album the only song that was really taken as a one take.
Okay.
We played it 3 times only, and
Right.
we chose the second time. It was just the feeling was there, the emotional, it was just really, really good.
Right.
And for me, it's like what is behind the song, I don't know if this is so important because I believe that when you listen to a song or you listen to a poem,
Hmm.
um, then you have your own imaginations and feelings. And I think this is the wonderful thing about art is that it touches you in some way, and you might find yourself in a way there. But of course, I mean, I can bring a little light into this whole thing.
Right.
Yes, I believe that the song has two layers. It is, on one hand, it is, it's like the inner demons that we are confronted with, and that we can sometimes not get rid of, and that hold us tight in a way. But there's also a different level. The inspiration for that song was, I was seeing an Afghan girl on YouTube, a little girl saying, "Is it a sin to be a girl?" Because they, it's like they were denied to go to school, to university. It was very heartbreaking, and still heartbreaking for me that so many women and girls on this planet don't have the same chances that we do.
Right.
And I felt like, yeah, is it a sin to be alive? Is it a sin to be, to just want to be free and shine somehow? And this is how it came to that song, have this inner and outside level.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting to hear. I have a story that connects to your song, but it has nothing at the same time. It's something that happened to me last week. No, not last week, the week before. It has to do with birds, but not in a nice way, because I have two dogs, and they were outside in the yard, and one of them, she saw her, she saw three or four baby birds, so she ran after them, and she bit in the neck of one of them. And when I look at I had to pick it up. I ran after the dog, screaming and yelling, so she will move away from the bird. And when I picked the bird up, I remember your song.
Oh,
The bird was dead. It was bleeding and dead.
Yeah.
And I have to get rid of it. But I'm sorry, it came to your song, Little Bird. I'm
Okay.
like, oh my God. I felt really bad, but it's part of life, It's the dog, and it's in the genes, I guess, of the dog to do that. But it has a
Yeah.
connection with your song somehow.
It's very interesting because it was kind of a very intense situation for you, and like this intensity of
Yeah,
life and death being so close in a
right.
way.
Yes. So
To say one thing, I have a dog too. It's a her, and
yeah, I got
always hunts. She hunts squirrels. It's very hard.
squirrels.
Squirrels.
Yes,
Squirrels.
yeah.
You have to say it very quickly. Squirrels.
Squirrels, yeah.
Yeah, and she sometimes hunts also pigeons, but she would never catch them. She
Oh
always
no.
she hunts them, and then she runs
Yeah,
further. It's like she likes the
no.
game. She does not want to do any
No,
harm.
my this dog, I have two female dogs, but one of them, she catches like garden mice and brings them in the house.
That's
I
interesting.
open the door. It's a schnauzer. I bring it in the open the door, and she comes like really proud. She has some mice in her mouth, and like, what are you doing?
It's like cats.
It's like a,
Isn't it something that cats rather do? That
yeah, but I
they be
think
present?
this brand, this type of dog, schnauzers, they do that. They're hunters, I guess. But let's go back to your music.
I love talking about animals.
I guess the main theme of this, we're gonna talk about always all things in the past also, but I go all over the place, and I'm not a professional interviewer, so I may go forward, I go back. It's like, that's how it is. The main thing reappearing in this album, Hirith, is the idea of a home. Are you talking about a place of residence, the soil itself, a homeland, or is something symbolic for you? Nothing, non-realistic.
It's a good question. I don't know if you have lost in your life
Mm.
a home. I'm not sure if you can ever get back to there. You know, I think home sometimes also stays in a way a construct in your mind.
Your mind. Mm.
And maybe this is also the thrive to create. I think that all the people who were doing, you know, it's like all the painters, writers, musicians, very many of them had this longing for a place of maybe peace and stillness. And yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because when I sit in a train going from A to B, I feel quite calm. I like
Mm-hmm.
it to be on the road.
Mm.
And I very often have the feeling of, oh, when I arrive there in my home, in my garden, my friend's place, my
Yeah.
mother's home, then I will feel better. But then I arrive there
Mm.
and then I think, nah, my mind does this funny thing of, okay, what's next? What's here? What's now? You know, it's like it's somehow I like to be in movement. And I've discovered for myself that I can use this, how do you say it in English? This, yeah, when it's really,
You
let's
feel
say,
something in your heart. I don't know. It's a some kind of manifestation inside you that you're saying that you need to keep moving. It's like you after some time you get uncomfortable you in one place and you need to go somewhere else where you think you're gonna feel better or
yeah, it's maybe not so really uncomfortable, but um, how do you say? Some restlessness. This is the word I was
okay,
looking.
okay.
It's I mean, I like to arrive somewhere and to
Hmm.
stay for a moment, but then after a while it starts to be restless again, and I need to move. And since this is not always possible, I guess for me it's the artistic expression that I
Hmm.
found
Hmm.
to live with this restlessness inside
Right.
me.
Are you in your mind and inside you? Are you being reminded at some time on your like on your own mortality or the death of loved ones? Is that something that crosses your mind often or not? Or is you never think about it?
Oh, I think about it a lot. My
A
dog
lot.
had a surgery 3 days ago, a
Okay.
cute one. She has a tumor in her breast here.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, my mom had a heart attack a couple of years ago, and now she gets a lot of treatments and stuff. So it's very, you know, I'm thinking about this a lot. And when I was young, I was very sick as well, and it was not clear if I survived that.
Okay. Hmm.
So for me, there is no fear of death. It's because I think we are going back into something, I don't know, where it all comes together or melts together. So there's this spiritual belief.
Hmm.
Um, what I find a little odd in our society is that we are not talking so much about death or getting older. You know, it's like my father always says, getting older is nothing for cowards. Yeah,
Yes, it
and
makes sense. Yes,
yeah, it makes
it
sense.
makes sense. Yes.
Uh,
Hmm.
and you know, in society, okay, it starts to change a little bit, but then you have so much. You see only youth, and when you're getting older, you know you're kind of disappearing from the screens.
Hmm.
And I'm really happy that there seems to be a movement where this is changing, where you can see older artists or act actors, or yeah,
Right.
so I can see their faces.
Yeah. I'm like when I listen to a couple, a lot of music, and I see, I remember musicians, the last photo I saw of them, maybe be 20 years ago. When I go back, for some reason, I want to listen to a new album. They put a new album after so many years. I go back and I
Yes.
listen. Ooh, it seems to me when I see their faces, it's like it's not the same person. It's a totally. I feel
But
like
do you,
I
yeah.
missed something between the time when I saw the last photo to the new photo. It's like another life went through that I missed it. That I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but just seeing a photograph of the something that you really used to, that you really love what they do, and then you see them again, you see the photo or whatever, or video of them at, at the present day, it's like a shock for me. But I'm the same person when I was younger also. Now I'm just like them, but I don't see myself. I see them. I don't see myself. I see
Mhm.
myself like still the same person, but I when I see them, I think they're not. They don't have the same. I don't know. Like they're totally different. They have a different personality, which is they're possibly they're the same personality, but something I don't know how to explain, Joanna. But that's what happens to me when I.
Yeah, I totally understand because sometimes I'm getting the same feeling of having a shock for a moment, but then I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I don't know. Do you think that artists should stop at some point? Like Biden should probably stop at some point. Sorry, I'm not. Oh, don't touch politics.
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I don't like talking much about politics, but not because I don't like it. It's because I get angry. That's the
Okay,
reason.
I totally. Yeah, we could rant about this for a while, I guess. No,
For
let's
me,
come back to music.
no, no,
Let's
no,
come.
no. For me, it's like it's crazy. This country for me is guy upside down. It's
Yeah.
just what I'm thinking. It's upside down. Everything is upside down. Whatever it was up, now is down. So I don't see much. I'm not hopeful for this country right now. So that's what about it.
Yeah, it's not only in the US.
Yes.
There's a lot of strange thing happening as well as in Europe, and yeah, I find it very
Yeah.
terrifying, to be honest.
I
It's
know. It's
really like,
depressing. It's
what
very
are we
depressing.
doing with our beautiful world? I mean,
Yeah.
really, we
Yeah.
have everything, and
It's
yeah,
it's like we don't know. It's like we don't know what the end is gonna be. We already know how we're gonna end if we keep
yeah,
doing what we're doing, but we're still doing it. It's like
yeah, we're
we
still doing it.
still doing it, no matter what happens, still going. It's like I don't know.
uh,
That's why I listen to
well,
your music, I guess.
yeah, it's a good music when the world goes down, I guess.
Yeah,
No, but let's come back to age in music in general, like being, I mean, it's like, to be honest, I really enjoy when I see, recently I saw Beth Gibbons with her new album.
I was I was gonna mention that because
Yes,
that's the photo I saw, Beth Gibbons, and I remember her.
it was one class, also first class concert. I rarely, I'm very critical with seeing shows and with
Right.
music in general because it has to be something. It was really brilliant. It was brilliant. She was brilliant. Her band was brilliant. I envy her for her band. It's beautiful, really.
Yeah.
And or when I see other artists that I admire, like Diamanda Gallas,
Amanda Gallas, yes, from the
she was
80s.
always true to herself. It's like I think the odd thing that we experience is when we have a musician in their young age and they make something that touches us, and then for 20 years they disappear, and
Right.
then they come back because no, okay, I'm not getting any money from royalties anymore, so I have to go back on touring. So
Mm.
the industry thinks about, what can we do now, and then they put the guys back on stage.
Yes.
This gives a little strange
Yeah.
feeling.
I
Yeah.
had a strange feeling. Like I said, her new album is beautiful, but I, I don't know. I felt some sadness at the same time, but I don't know why. I don't know.
Sadness about her music or about her.
About I don't know about all the spirit. Like now, like I don't know. It's been so long, and now it's like people probably they're not paying so much attention like they did before, and they're gonna miss some great music because everything is so quick now, they don't stop and pay attention, you know?
Yeah, it's very hard to be honest. When I see it now, I want to be very honest with you. It's like it's very strange for me to see. It's like I've worked on this album with many musicians and a good team for 2 years now.
Right.
How it came out, first the numbers, just the numbers of the streaming services went up, and now they're already like
Right.
now it's summer, everyone is going on holiday, you know, it's like, and I'm not a person who is constantly pushing.
Hmm.
You know, I don't like to be like all the time into your face.
Right. Hmm.
Not my language. I prefer always stillness before noise, although noise can be very nice. Depends on
Hmm.
it.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's very interesting for me because the quality of art or quality of music has nowadays not much to do with how it's made or anything. No, let's put it in a different way. I have to start the sentence in a new way.
Right.
It's, you know, your reach has nothing to do with the quality of the music. And this is
Right.
really a problem, I find. And so,
Yeah.
as my music is not, you know, it's not pop music, it will never, you know, it's like it's not getting into any charts or anything. It's
Right.
rather for someone who really enjoys to put on the vinyl
Right.
on the vinyl player and listens to the album as a whole thing and maybe enjoys music in a, you know, also enjoys it for how it's produced and not so much this fast living catchy thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's from my perspective, I want to
But
gather people.
I'm like, you put a lot of work into this album. You
Yes.
you probably did, and you did many hours. Um, and to, you know, it's like after you're done, you're done with it. It's like I'm finished. Maybe some bands or singers, they once they're done, they jump to another thing. This is done, and now I want to do something else. But some other musicians, they do put a lot of hard work on it, and im- it's like playing music, you know, like they say in the forest and nobody's listening to it. It's a great music, but if nobody listens, it's like, is it worth it? Should I keep doing this? I don't know. For me, it's I listen to her music and it's fantastic. I mean, I will never play Joanna's music in the beach on a Caribbean island either. You know, it's not the right place to listen to that kind of music. You gotta pay attention. Also, it's not like elevator music that you in a supermarket. It's not the music for that. That's not the music that she makes and creates. You gotta be sitting down, probably, or laying down, and pay attention. You know, it's not. It's a challenge for me to listen to Joanne's music sometimes because I'm not at the right place at the right moment. It's not like I
Mm.
could listen at any time, you know. I don't know.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you gotta be in the right mood also.
Of course.
If you
Yes.
have if you're having a happy day, everything is funny and people are laughing and that blah, 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 blah. I know just let me listen to no, it's not the right moment to listen to Joanna's music. You gotta be in the right place
It's
and
interesting.
you gotta
Like,
connect somehow. So
yes, you have to connect, but it's one thing is very interesting to me because I was asking I was making a kind of a study on Instagram asking people
hmm,
how do you experience this album? Is it rather very dark
hmm,
or and somber, or has it also some hope and light? And the answers were quite gender based somehow. So the
hmm.
women gave me feedback of, oh yeah, there is hope and light, and it's really beautiful.
There
And
is.
many men said, oh yeah, no, it's rather really melancholic and dark. It's just like, oh, this is very interesting how it's perceived.
I think both things are possible. Both things could be melancholic and dark, and you don't see a future for the human race, but you can also see some light at the same time if you want to change things, you know.
Yes. My
So,
bass player, she said, it's like you're stuck in a tunnel. You're
yeah,
still there, but you can see the light.
yeah.
She, this was her.
I mean, it's some kind of warning. The album that, right? Some kind. It's not also a warning for you to pay attention, and maybe you can change some things. Uh, so I want to go back a little bit, if you don't mind. You
Yeah.
attended also acting school when you were a teenager, I guess. Was you when
In
you
my beginning 20s,
beginning?
I was in acting school and I played theater for about 5 years. I
Hmm.
was in theater and I used to sing this old songs from the 1920s and 30s, like old kind of chanson stuff, Kurt Weilbrecht,
Okay.
Kreisler, Kendler, all, it's like rather German
Hmm.
stuff. And I just discovered on stage that I'm much stronger when I am allowed to sing. And
Hmm.
it's like I rather feel like a medium for something that is going through me instead of, playing something or someone. I was never good at it. And or I did not feel comfortable in that anymore.
Hmm.
So yeah, I played with the pianist for a long time, all these classical pieces, and then I had the
Hmm.
feeling of, no, wow, I need to write my own
Hmm.
things.
You lived in other besides Berlin. You lived in other cities in Germany previous moving to Berlin. Uh, Um, when you were living in Berlin, I also read that you were part of some kind of electro music duo where, and your lyrics were written in German. How did this come about? Was this
Oh,
something?
you found all the secrets in the worldwide web. Yes, this was in my 20s. I think this was just when I moved to Berlin. It was
Hmm.
a very interesting time in Berlin because, we had this very strong community. This was also the time of Love Parade, blah, blah, blah. So, it's like we were gathering, we were coming together, playing music, taking turntables everywhere, basically everywhere,
Hmm.
in backyards or gardens or abandoned houses. And
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I think it was just the time for me. And so I stepped into this kind of music and I was writing German lyrics and yeah.
Previous that to that, you were. Could we say were you like in your I don't know teenage years when you were living because you lived in Hanover also in Hamburg
Hannover.
in
And in
Hamburg
Hamburg.
Hamburg,
Mm.
yeah. Were you at that time were you thinking about uh music in a different way because your mind wasn't still open to, or you probably didn't listen to all, had access to all kinds of music at that time, or you were just like thinking in one direction, like this type of music is what I'm listening to, and this is what I want to do. I do as the others because they do this. I'll do it. I'll try it myself. Always, you know what I'm
Well,
trying?
I was listening much more to music than I do today, I would say.
Hmm. So it's
Because
just the opposite. You were more open to other music, to other
well, it's like
genres.
I have to find my inner space and have to be open for, especially when I write, I have to be open for other music in a way. And it
Hmm.
always changes when you make something your job, then you have to have the space inside you.
Hmm.
But when I was a teenager, I was in a gothic scene, so the darkness was already there.
Okay.
And I enjoyed lots of very, very fantastic music.
Hmm.
Um, um, and so from very young age, my taste was quite different than of my friends. I
Hmm.
was I was probably the odd one that was listening to strange stuff. Um, yeah.
Hmm. I was gonna ask you at that. I don't. Maybe I don't know if nowadays, but do you have any problems like being by yourself uh, for days? Do you miss contact with other people, or you could stay on your own for many days and you still not reminded of what was going on outside. Like you could be on your own life, in your own mind or in your own life with no needing other people for a while.
Mm.
Are you that type of person, or you need people around you all the time?
It has changed through COVID.
Okay.
When I love being on my own,
Hmm.
but I love to have my dog with me.
Okay.
The first album, 11, I don't know if you've listened to this
Yes,
one,
I did.
but
Yes.
it's much more. It's maybe even a little more. How do I say it? Intense in a way, and the lyrics are have more importance or more space in the
Mm-hmm.
songs. I wrote this one on my own. I was staying for two weeks on my own on a small German island, Rügen,
Okay.
and there was no one. I had no internet. There were no people. I was
Okay.
completely cut off. I really enjoyed to have my own rhythm of life, of nothing's coming from outside. I can just make this little walk. Maybe I can get some herbs from the garden. Oh, now I go to the sea, and now I come back and write.
Okay.
I take a bath. It's like and wow, this was fantastic. But it was just the right timing. But through COVID, when I had to step away from everything, it's like especially as a musician, you had no way to connect with others, to show what you do, to get a feedback. I felt, especially a little later, maybe not in the first half year, but a little later, I felt very isolated. And then I started to really enjoy human connection. When I had
Right.
the opportunity to talk to people outside, when you're walking the dog, you have a reason to be outside, and then you
Right.
can
Right.
talk to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed a little bit the perspective. And now I think it's good to have a balance of both. I believe it's good to stay on your own and to, it's like, especially when you're very sensitive and you need to digest all the things that are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But also it's very nice to talk to others and to understand their universe.
Right. Yeah, the album you talk about 11 came in 2021, I think.
21, yes.
21. It was like the, your first album as the LP, right? The first
Yes.
one. But you had a
Mhm.
previous EP, no? Didn't
I
you?
had a previous EP. It was released in 2016, but then I started to work with a band called, the German people will know, Poems for
The Cold
Lila.
Hand? What about the Cold
The
Hand?
Cold Hand. Yeah, the Cold Hand is my first band. I wrote 2 albums with the Cold Hand.
Okay.
But I was working with a drummer from New York, a guitar
Mm.
player from Bristol,
Yeah.
and a double bass player from Seattle. And after
Okay.
4 years and 2 albums, they disappeared.
Yeah.
I was heartbroken and left alone.
Hmm.
And so you put lots of energy into a thing,
Right.
and it's also some kind of home and relationship. And then I thought, okay, now I'm going to start my solo project. And
Right.
now the solo project starts to be again some kind of ensemble idea, because
Right.
we are setting up, or we are playing the first shows with Hida, and we
Hmm.
are a 5-piece band now, and
Full
sometimes we were
band.
playing a smaller setup, but yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but to come back to Poems for Lila, I was stuck then in this project. I was playing with another guy, lots of shows all over Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and it was going quite well. And it's like it was the first time where I really earned money with music.
Yeah.
I decided to only stay for 2 years, but it turned out to be 5 years then. And then
Yeah.
finally, as
Yeah.
COVID came, we had a conflict, and then I just said, okay, now
Yeah.
it's time for
Mm.
my own
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, I listened to the Cold Hand, one of the Cold Paper Ships. That's the one I listened to. Who's Ria Gruen? Is that your alter ego? Who is she?
Yeah, this is my alter ego for the chanson stuff with the
Okay.
pianist.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you've
Interesting.
investigated really a lot.
No, no, no. I got
Yeah,
nothing to do.
yeah.
I buy myself all the time. No, just kidding. But yeah, really interesting to do some research on Joanna. Um, I will suggest also to go to YouTube and watch Molecules of Light, that video. That's a great video also. And that's from 11. I believe that song, yes. Tell me about 11 itself, because it very, I read 11. I was thinking 11 songs, 11. No, that wasn't the reason why she named this album 11. There is another reason. Can you tell the audience what 11 means to you?
Yeah, the number 11 in the numerology is the number of dreamers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was living for a while in the house number 11, and was a very, yeah, a very rough time in a way. It wasn't an easy time for me. I was then also going through a breakup, and I think I've been just working through the whole process with this kind of album. And so it was COVID, then after a breakup, moving back into the own apartment. And, I just found the time to write down all these songs. And I rather see them as poems. It's not so much, for me, it's really, it's not, the most important part for me here is really, is the lyrics.
It's more important than the music. The music comes later.
It's connected, but the music is rather a vessel, but the words are quite important.
Yeah, if when you write in song, your subjects, the themes and ideas, I guess are coming from real life experiences or also fictional characters, I guess, and it's like a concept that you imagine or a picture in your mind, and you develop a story. I get you are very observant, I guess, with all the things around you. When you write.
Can you repeat that for me, just to I get it?
I mean, when you're writing your songs, when you start writing anything on paper, I don't know if you have voice notes also on your phone that things that you comes to your mind and you record them just in case you don't forget. But the subjects that you address in your songs are some, I guess, some come from real life experiences. Yes. Others are fictional characters that you have in concepts that come in your mind. And I guess also you can make also by looking at a painting or a photo, something brings something that catches your attention, and you're observant of things going around you, and you want to put them down on paper instead of just staying in your mind.
Exactly. It's very often some kind of mixture of things. It's like sometimes you just have a sentence inside you, or you make an intense experience, or maybe it's just it's just a longing, an idea, or a situation that you see when people fighting, or it's like when you're going through something. And it can also be a landscape that just makes some kind of feeling inside me. And very often it comes all together. It's a very interesting. I love this process of creating, of writing, because it is really something you get the feeling when it sits right. Some songs are there like this, and it's one take. You write things down and just change a few words and ideas of sounds. And some take months or even years.
Years, right.
I think Molecules of Light, I wrote it in 2017 and recorded it in 2020.
Okay.
It has to grow inside you and get a full shape in a way. It has to be ripe.
Yeah. Regarding your recordings, you do all your pre-production at your home?
Yes, I do everything at home. I very often record everything with the accordion first. So it's a very particular way of approaching the sound. And then I especially for the last process, I took it then to the studio. So the raw pieces, and I already knew what kind of instrumentation will come in. So I had already ideas and people who wanted to work with. Well, and then from this point on, I was just a director, and I was also taking the ideas of the musicians, because I really love, it's like when the people have the respect and the right feeling for a piece of music, and you can feel that there's communication sits right, and it's good to let them do.
Do you, when you're at home, do you make use of any digital audio workstations, or is more like in an analog way?
No, I record everything analog. Digital. So I work with Logic, and yes, but I record everything. So it's not that I'm producing any sounds. I'm just really I'm recording stuff.
Do you think that when you have too many, how can we say, too many tools at hand, do you feel like sometimes doing too much tweaking, we could say, with a recording? The research when you do to get a perfect song in a piece of music may, I don't know, ruin the spirit of the organic feeling of the emotion in the track. If you do too much thinking and too much tweaking, and maybe I should this and the other thing, and then the song is not what it's supposed to be anymore.
I think it can go both ways. I'm often feeling overwhelmed when I have too many options. Then I'm just like, phew. And it was interesting because I was working with this studio engineer, Ingo Kraus, who was working in the Conny Planck studio for a long time. And he says, take things out, do less. It's like, and I thought, yeah, this makes sense, because sometimes it's the simplicity of things that really catches your attention. It's very interesting when I listen to artists I like, and I listen to their first album. It might not be perfect, but it does something emotionally that maybe the second or third or fourth album is not doing anymore. It's perfectly produced. There are lots of fantastic things. It has also this is also fine, it's like it is a quality, but it loses this kind of seeking. It loses this kind of emotionality sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes for me, it feels like when I listen to a conversation with 2 or 3 people and they all talk at the same time, and you cannot pay attention to any of them because there's so much going on. They're all saying different things. So it's easier sometimes to make a simple one talk one at this speaks at the one moment, and then you listen, and then the other talks. Too much talking at the same time, it makes it hard to catch the feeling. I don't know.
Yeah, this is why repetition is also working so fine. When it's like as I said, I think I'm coming a little bit, I have a spiritual background, and so when you listen to mantras and you have, it's like you have this maybe a kind of Sanskrit sentence or some kind of sounds that keep repeating themselves. It's like after 20 minutes, you're realizing the sound is still going, but it has something inside you has calmed down, or maybe it's still not boring and still changes in a way. It's very interesting. It's like how we perceive this kind of things. It is really doing something to our nervous system.
Another thing is regarding another instrument that you play is called the sitar.
Yeah.
The sitar. It's an instrument that has like 30 or 40 strings, right? More or less. That's a lot of strings, no?
It's a lot of strings. I have it here, so
yeah. How hard is it to play the sitar?
Oh, not so hard. It's not so hard. It's no, it's a very simple instrument. It works like the piano, but with strings.
Okay.
No, I would rather say it works like the accordion. On the left hand, I can show it into the camera so people know what I'm
Yes,
talking about.
Of course, I want to see it.
So
okay, all right. That's beautiful.
yeah, it's a walnut tree.
Walnut. I was gonna ask you what was it made of. That's beautiful.
It's
Mm.
walnuts.
Hmm.
It is not so difficult. It's like when you're drumming, it's a similar system. You play on the left hand, you play the chords, and in the right hand you play the strings.
Okay. Hmm. Had you had that instrument for a long time?
This one is custom made. I asked.
Okay.
It's a very small family business sitting in Vogtland in Germany who are building them.
Uh-huh.
It's originally coming from the Alps, I think, but it was used a lot in the eastern part of Germany when it was still GDR.
Hmm.
Someone told me that it used to be the piano substitute for poor households.
Hmm. Okay.
So yeah, because people could not afford a piano, but they
Piano.
wanted to make some music, so they had the sitters.
Hmm.
And originally they are much smaller.
Right.
And as I say, they always sound nice, a little otherworldly, and yeah, just nice to accompany yourself with this kind of sound.
Yeah. Very interesting instrument also for me. Um, this album, Heraeth, it has I think 10 songs. I believe it has 10. It's 10 songs. Yeah. There's another video I also saw, Breakout. That made it for me after Little Bear I saw Breakout, and I was sold, I guess you could say, to her music. There is also another song that you play with the British uh, actress, I think, also and
Yeah,
singer.
she's a musician and actress, Keely Forsyth.
Yeah, The Last Dance.
Mm-hmm.
Last Dance.
Yes.
How did you meet her? This person, was it because I also read that it was like coincidental by pure chance that you met her in some kind of festival?
Yes, we were playing at the same festival in a Latvian
Hmm.
in a very little Latvian town. Maybe I don't know if it's already a town or if it was a village.
Right.
Some kind of little avant-garde festival that is fantastically
Hmm.
curated. And I met her and Ross, the musical partner,
Uh-huh.
there, and we were listening to each other's sets, and we were stuck together somehow. It's like, because sometimes you feel that you find the same language, you just have the same vibe, and
Yeah. You
we're talking.
connected in a congenial way, we could say.
Exactly.
That's
Then, yeah, always when she came over to Berlin, we met for lunch or a drink. I visited her concerts, and then I asked her if she wants to join or if they want to join this
hmm.
piece that I wrote.
Right. I think she's putting out, or she put out a new album also.
Yeah,
Another
she
one.
put
I
out a
haven't
new
listened to it
album.
yet.
It's hauntingly beautiful. It's really,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Hmm.
a fan.
I'm gonna have to take a look at it. If Joanna likes it, I guess she'll like it. I guess.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. It's really
Hmm.
good. Mm.
So regarding this album, He Rise, are you planning? I think I also read that this record you're gonna be playing in September, like with your the full band you were talking about.
Yes.
It's like some kind of first release, or
It's the record release. We have
yeah.
already played at Fusion Festival 2 weeks ago. So it
Hmm.
was really the first official show. But the
Hmm.
record release concert is happening here in Berlin on the 3rd of September with a full lineup. So we will probably be 7 people on
Oh,
stage.
wow,
Also, the horn players coming in this time.
wow, that'll
And
be really.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it because it's going to happen in a very special place, the Silent Green. I don't know if you've heard about
Mm,
it.
I
It used to be
yeah.
a cemetery. It's like it's called.
It's not a cemetery. You said no.
It's not. It's a cemetery, not where they burn the bodies.
Crematory, some kind of.
Yes, exactly. It used to be, and now it's a
Ah,
cultural place where they
oh,
have
okay.
shows. And I play in the Kuppelhalle, which is really like the chapel.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking forward to this because the setting is perfect.
Hmm. When,
And
wh-
yeah.
yeah. I was just gonna
No,
ask you.
I just want to say that I think that places
Hmm.
totally do something to music. It's always very unique when you have special places, how it's received, of the audience. And
Of
if
course.
places have a history or some kind of, they are charged energetically in a way, then it's always unique. It's a unique experience for both of us, musicians and
And
audience.
for the audience, yes. When you play live, do you ever get into any type of improvisation in music during your songs?
I used to do a lots of improvisation when I was playing solo. So I started playing on my own accordion. I use lots of digital loopers and effects on my instruments and on the voice as well. So I loved to improvise. It was, for me, it was never that one concert is as the other one. Because, as I just said, the setting was always different. The people are always different. How can you repeat something one to one? It never felt right. It's always turning out differently. And then, well, this album is the first time where I actually try to stick to the songs and to their structure, but we will most likely also work on some interludes and parts where we have some space to play around.
Right. Are you a very let's say talkative person during your shows? Do you speak to the public at all between songs, or you just do your thing and you'll talk later?
Well, I believe that when you play on your own as a solo artist, from my perspective, I always had the need to share also my, it's like to talk to the audience, to let them know who you are, to give everything to them in a way. But since I don't know, it also depends on the situation. Sometimes it's not the right situation, and you feel
does
it.
it also depends on the audience, the kind of audience is listening? Probably depends,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, very often I remember concerts where I was playing, and then in the first row there were some people sitting on the floor and crying. How do you pick that? It's like how can you carry that in a way? It's a little bit like I'm just
it's hard to
I have lots of respect for this kind of moments. I will not talk or make jokes, and this it's just the emotions that are coming up, and I'm grateful for this experience because it's beautiful when it touches.
That's why you want to do that music, to make people feel things and think.
Yeah.
This album, Hiraeth, it comes in CD, vinyl, and digitally, I guess. The three media, you have the choice for you. You could do the. I guess the best way to get in touch with your music and your albums is to go to your. It's her name, Joanna. How do you say it? Gemma? Gemma Auguri.com. Her also, you use the full name in your artist. Your artist name is the full name. It's not common to see the three your two names and the
I know
last name.
sometimes it's difficult because people are like, what was the name? I can't remember this. And I said, you have to say it very often. Or when it really comes inside you, then you will never forget it.
So you type her name and .com, and from there you could connect to all those Facebook or Instagram or Bandcamp or I don't know, YouTube. Everything is there from there.
Yes.
You can listen to her music, but also read the lyrics if you find them. I think if you buy the CD, it's probably the lyrics are in the CD.
Unfortunately, not this time. We've done
they're
it.
Not. Okay.
No, but I will, it's like I will provide them. So you can most
I know
likely.
in Bandcamp you can see some of them.
Yes. Exactly.
So I would suggest to go there, and from there you choose your favorite media, Apple Music or whatever. But you should buy the album. I think the best thing to do. So after the release day, do you have any plans for other concerts? Are you still thinking of how you're gonna develop this show your this album to the public?
Yes, we are planning to go on a tour in more the eastern part of Europe in October. Fingers crossed that it's all working out. And then in November, we are going to be touring in Germany and in Austria, and hopefully a little more next year.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really hope that this album is received positively and just touches the hearts of the people in some way. And
Yes.
I really love playing live. It's beautiful. This is where I feel alive as well.
Right.
These are my most favorite parts: writing and playing, and all the things in between are just like, oh. But I guess I'm not the
Well,
only one.
the music industry is really bad. It's not why
Yeah.
it's not part of what you really like doing, but especially when you have to talk to people like me.
Oh, come on. It was lovely to talk to you. You're so cool. I also
Uh,
enjoyed all the other interviews. I was listening to your interviews with Joe Quid.
you know what, John, I go all over the place. I'm not like I don't have a strict thing. I could go forward and backwards and up and down, but
How did you come across this music? This is
you
interesting for
I
me.
don't know. Like I said, I think YouTube. That's when I saw the little bird, and then I break out. I saw the videos, but I probably was like watching other videos, and your
Yes.
video came, one of them, and I click.
Yeah.
That's all it takes sometimes. Just a
Yeah.
photo, a screenshot, whatever. Something that got my attention. That's it. I had no idea who Joanna was. That's how it is with everybody, with everything you do in life. Sometimes it's just coincidence, like when she met, you meet other people just by coincidence.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so interesting because sometimes, it's like especially the older we get, sometimes we think we know everything. We know everyone, we know everything. And then suddenly, it's like entirely new people coming into your life, entirely new
Yes.
situations turns up, and you're just like, wow, okay, still so many possibilities.
Till the last moment, you're gonna meet new people, and you're gonna find things that you had no idea about, and that's what's happening every day. Even in your deathbed, maybe the priest at the last moment you say, "Oh, this guy is cool. Oh, and I'm gonna pass away. Oh, yeah, too late." I don't know. So like I said, listen to Joanna's music. Take a look. Be patient, because some people, they don't have the patience. You gotta pay attention sometimes, and you gotta be in the right place to listen. Like I said before.
Yeah.
And
But I guess it's like when I see the audience that you have and the music that you choose, these are most likely people who have the patience.
yeah, well, I guess Joanna is one of my best interviews. None of the best interview. It's not the best interview. It's one of the artists that I really enjoy talking to. Best
Thank you
interview.
so much.
There will never be a good interview from coming out from me, but pay attention to the artists, because I think I'm choosing sometimes the right artists. The conversation coming out of me is not a big deal, but the music is what it's all about. So get in touch with her, and I just want to wish her all the best. What can I say? Keep making whatever you're making. You want to call the music genre you want to call it. It makes no difference. It's as long as you really enjoy it listening. Doesn't matter what it is. So I just want to wish her the best and keep doing more songs. She probably has more stuff.
Yeah, I
So
started writing again.
yeah, she has a lot of stuff. She doesn't know what to do with it yet, or how she's gonna present it. But I imagine like a lot of notebooks and things written here, written there, voice memos on the computer, and this and that, and she has to put everything together. It's like constructing. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and see how it comes out. So thank you very much, Joanna. You have a great day. Thanks for giving me so much time because especially on a Sunday, you know, people have a lot of things to do besides, you know, having a conversation with me. But I really enjoyed talking to me. Made my day. You know,
It
I
was a
feel I
pleasure
feel
from my side.
better. I feel much better now. You know.
Oh, that's so good. Well, I brought a little light in your Sunday. That's good.
Yes, yes. Now I got the whole day just to enjoy. You know. And tomorrow I'll listen again to her music. But enough today. Today I'm done with Joanna.
Okay.
Just today, just today,
That's today.
just today. Tomorrow I'll be back.
Right.
All right. Thank you very much, Joanna. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Little bird, little bird, your iridescent feathers, your untouchable beauty. Little bird, can